on Spaceship Earth. And my wish for all of us, for me and for each and every one of you, is that we can remember that we are all on the same cruise. We are all on this rock together. We owe what we have to each other, and we are all that we have. So please, we're not done yet, don't worry. But as you disembark from our togetherness today, I really hope that you can bring your inspiration, bring the sense of community, the sense of play and light and love that you all share so freely and beautifully with each other here, everywhere else with you, and into the dark parts of our world who need it the most.
Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you.
Free Palestine. Our next performer is truly, really, dearly one of my favorites. It's gross, so I won't get into it.
Appreciate that.
But this really is a world-class performer. This human has performed all over our beautiful planet Earth. He's been all over this spaceship. And we are so lucky and blessed to have him here today.
Just take some photos.
Please welcome to our beautiful stage, these lovely woods, this lovely stage.
So dusty.
Built for us by Mother Earth. Yeah,
Natural.
Richard.
That's the reason.
I had a job and I forgot it.
Easy. It's okay to get distracted.
You're doing so much.
Ooh, it's great.
Oh, it's not his usual act with the one contact, but he's gonna do some of this multi-ball stuff. Cool.
Hi everybody.
Hey.
Just like to preface this act a little bit. This act has a bit of a backstory. This act is about some things that I learned about things that are not juggling from juggling.
Okay.
It's a bit of a story. I wanted to give everybody the opportunity just for a minute because we haven't been going long on the show, but also because this act is better from the front. If y'all want to take a second to just cozy up and like really bring it nice and tight. This is not like a big stage act, it's more like a close-up thing. So if you're back and you feel comfortable coming toward the front, now is a great time. If you're way by the sides, you can kind of cozy in a little bit if you feel comfortable with your neighbors.
You want to go up there with your new friend? No heckling. No heckling. Oh,
So like I
cool.
said, this act comes from a lot of different influences, and it's sort of about how my juggling practice improved my music practice. My music practice improved my cooking practice.
Oh,
Cooking practice improved my language practice, and so on. Like many acts, this act is a story. And like many stories, it begins at the beginning with one. Now one is a number. It's the number of unity, the number of wholeness. And it's a number that means just a single thing. It exists sort of by fiat. By that I mean, if I tell you I have one thing, you know I don't have nothing, and you know I don't have many things. So let's say for a moment we're back in high school geometry class. This is one point, a zero-dimensional point in space, with no length and no width and no depth. Now we can move this point in space to create the illusion of a shape. a square. But without the other 3 points, there's no square. It's just an illusion. Now, it's an understanding of the sphere itself that gives tricky jugglers the ability to establish the illusions that make contact juggling look so cool. Because we're fudging for playability here. It's not one zero-dimensional point in space, but an infinite number of points the same distance from the center of the object. Now, if I take 2 identical points and place them parallel in space, we reach the first dimension, a line with length, but no width and no depth. We can manipulate this line in space by moving 1 point, or by moving both points, or we can hold the line fixed and manipulate the manipulator. Now, 1 is the number of unity. 2 is the number of duality. By adding a third prop, we reach 3, the number of trinity. Now, regardless of your belief in any similarly named spiritual paradoxes, this trinity is found everywhere in the cosmos. This could be H2O, the water that we drink. It could be CO2, the gas we exhale in every breath. For you chemists in the crowd, it could be any triangular planar molecule, right? Yes, okay, there's always one. Stay in science class. Now, in the way we got from the 0th dimension to the 1st dimension by placing 2 zero-dimensional points parallel in space, we can take 2 lines and place them parallel in space to reach the 2nd dimension. Now we have length and width. And a funny thing happens here in juggling, because as the system becomes complicated enough, we now discover the element of rhythm. And I can spin these together or opposite directions, asynchronously. And of course, again, we're fudging here a little bit because in 3 dimensions, a line and a rectangle, they're not the only shape you can make with 4 points. So this brings us to the fundamental hypothesis of this performance, that every system, as it gains in complexity, can grow in power and flexibility. So let's test the hypothesis. Let's add a couple more parts to our system. And see whether the system does cooler stuff. Well, right away, we can see that the system has gotten more complicated. It does the same stuff as before. I can spin parallel or asynchronously. But another thing has happened. Spin parallel and asynchronously, and of course, once again, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. But another unusual thing happens. In the same way that we found rhythm when we went from the 0 to the 1st dimension, now everything that I could do with 2 and 2 hands, I can do twice with 3 and 2 hands. But also everything I could do on the floor plane with 4, I can now do on the wall plane with 4.
Cool.
Yes.
check out that by adding more parts to the system, it gains in power and flexibility. We can work in higher dimensions.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yes.
Right? But how far can we go, right? It's like Isaac Asimov wrote. Can you build a computer the size of the universe? Then run the universe on it? Well, let's try.
Yes.
Balls.
Well, now we have a big system. It does a lot of interesting stuff. We can make some real power moves here. Work on new dimensions in different axes. But we have to start asking ourselves some difficult questions here. Like, how many fingers have you got? How many expensive fraps can you afford? How many hours in a day can you do this, right? So we find some parallels in the complexifying systems outside of juggling, right? We run into issues like scaffolding, right? As we get more complicated, stuff gets difficult. In the early days of technology, you could rope a stick to a rock, make a hammer. Anyone can do that. But now, you need to build a factory just to build the parts for a different factory. Just to build the parts to make your car, or your computer, or your phone. And in juggling, it's sort of the same way. Let's see. It's like, there. It's like you might have a trick. It takes a long chain of other, more complicated tricks to take you to where you want to go. And sometimes in juggling and in tech, you can build something and can't quite figure out how to take it apart again. And you're stuck. You're just stuck with this system. You have to use your stamina to just hold out, hang on for as long as you can to this awkward thing until you face the inevitable consequences. The explosion or the meltdown.
Uh-oh.
The spill.
Oh.
Yep.
But I'm optimistic. I don't think that as the systems complexify forever, as technology, computers outpace us slowly, clumsily, biologically evolving organisms, that we're necessarily destined to poison ourselves or irradiate ourselves or blow ourselves up. Here's why. Because in every art, whether juggling or science, practice begets mastery. The impossible tricks of yesterday are the simple tricks of today. Through mastery, maybe cultivation of the right perspective, a hard-to-handle system can be transformed, metamorphed into something a little easier to handle. Maybe even a system that makes the old ones look barbaric by comparison.
Damn.
And ultimately, throughout time, the true masters have understood
Wow.
that
Wow.
every system,
Oh my God.
no matter how complex, dangerous, or strange, with a bit of practice and from the right angle, can be taken apart into their smallest pieces.